So these are going to be my predictions for season 3 of Alone on the History Channel. I don't know these individuals. I'm not, friends with any of them. I don't have any kind of, pull one way or another if someone wins or not. I'm just using the very limited data that's available in the form of a few little videos that typically are just between 1 and 3 minutes long that are available from the History Channel. And so just looking at just those videos, I'm just trying to make an educated guess of who do I think is going to check out early and win. And so I'm not going to go through each person. I did write out a bio of each of these people. I watched all the available videos, and I will have to say, though, that some of them are kind of hit and miss and wild cards. You just never know. You don't know if someone's going to get injured, God forbid, and I hope no one does get injured. I hope everyone has a really good experience with this show. But chances are someone will probably get injured and leave because of that, or more than one. And then there will be other people that may or may not have some emotional issues and or health issues possibly, and some people will probably get on the verge of starvation. And so this is probably what's going to happen, because every season it seems to get a little bit more intense, and or they pick more intense people. Now, there are some wild cards like Jim, the high school teacher. He has a lot of pressure to perform because, all the students are kind of cheering him on. 37 years old. Not a lot of hands-on experience, but he teaches survival in a high school level class. He's a little bit thicker, not like a really big, heavy-duty guy, but maybe just a slightly overweight. But it's kind of hard to tell with the clothing and everything. But he looks like he has a little bit of a fat reserve, but he's a wild card. And then also Dave, in my opinion, in particular, the bushcraft teacher at 49 years old, a little high-strung, very giddy. Seems like he's a very nice guy, but he's skinny as a rail, and that's what really concerns me a lot. Is on one side, you don't have any fat reserves, so if you don't eat, you're in big trouble. But on the other side, when you don't have that much body, you have less calorie need. So it can go both ways. But he does seem like he has a lot of experience. He said he's been out in the longest 44 days in the winter, surviving, and he does teach, of course, once again, survival and bushcraft for close to, I think he said 20 years, but I think more specifically like a little bit like 17 and change. So you got those two that are the biggest wild cards for me. And the other ones that I don't mention, I think they're going to last, in a large variable. It could be anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks at the minimum, all the way up maybe 2 months. But I don't see most of those in the middle there to be more than 2 months. So let's go ahead and just call who I think is going to be the first person to throw in the towel. And I think it's going to be Callie. Callie, she's a herbalist at 27 years old. She's very skinny. I mean, she's very thin, in my opinion. She's a very chill and relaxed person. I mean, I think she's a cool person, but I don't really think that she's that highly skilled in survival as she's letting on. She's kind of a new age spiritual person, and that's cool and all, but I don't know. She just doesn't give me the vibe that she's going to be able to tough it out. And some of the comments she said, I kind of don't know if I feel that comfortable with ranking her very high. So I think and once again, this video is just for fun. I like all the contestants. They seem like they're all really cool people. But I'm just saying that Callie just seems to be the weakest, in my opinion. Of course, the data is so limited, who knows? The second person I think that's going to throw in the towel is going to be Zach. He, as well, is very skinny. He's 22 years old, very little experience, but he's a wilderness living skills instructor. I mean, so maybe he's been doing that for what, 2 to 4 years max? I mean, the guy's only 22. So I don't know. Even if he is really skilled and he's got all this information, he's so skinny, he has no fat reserves, and so he's going to have to really find calories. And in Patagonia, good luck. He said he's been actually survived by himself for 32 days before, but he did admit that he's going to be anxious, on this journey. And so I think he's just going to have some problems just because of his low fat, body fat count. Now, there's other people I could mention, but the video will go on and on and on. And I wrote out so much information here just for myself, just so I can keep track of the show as it goes on. I think the runner-up is going to be Greg. The runner-up winner. He's a drywaller. He does drywall. He said for like 37 years or something he's been doing that. He's 53 years old. He's not much like you would consider like a formally trained survivalist by any means, but he's the kind of an outdoors man. He's kind of like someone that's gone out there and just learned stuff himself. And you don't want to underestimate those kind of people that have that kind of drive. He seems to be just slightly overweight, and that's a good thing in a way because he has a lot more fat reserves. But at the same time, if you look at his arms and his upper body, he has a lot of muscle tone. He's in pretty good shape, it looks like. He said he camps out and does camping with his daughter, and his other daughter lives in like Australia. So he only has like one family member from what it seems like in the video that even lives in the whole area. He kind of acts like he has little to no family and maybe kind of like a little bit limited on his friends. Even in the Sendaway video, it just seemed like he only had two people there. So he said he likes to build shelters. He studies plants, and I think that emotionally he's not going to have much of a problem because he's kind of used to doing his own thing. So I don't think he's going to have an emotional breakdown. He might be one of the last persons to have an emotional issue. Unlike other people who have like really small kids at home and, you know, they're going to be missing them and all this, or people that are really skinny and they're going to be like starving in a matter of a week and a half to 2 weeks, like Zach or Callie. So, okay, the winner, in my opinion, and this is really neck and neck with Greg, so who knows, but I think Dan's going to be the winner. He's the trapper. He's 34 years old, a full-time outdoors person or outdoors man, as he says. He processes hides from trapping. Sometimes he hunts as well, but he mostly traps. He has a small kid. That's the only thing that's a variable that's a little bit, but I think he's going to use that as a strength to push him through. You know, everybody has their weakness emotionally when they have kids at home and they're not there. He seemed like he's of average weight, but he's a little bit thicker than the average person. He's a pretty thick guy, so either he has a little bit more muscle tone or he has a little bit more fat reserves, but it's a little hard to tell from the videos. But I think he's pretty safe in that direction. And you never know too, about right before the show, do they add 5-10 pounds right before the show starts, in between the videos that were made? You don't really know all the details. So I think Dan is possibly going to be the winner, but it's kind of a free-for-all. So what do you think? Do you have any predictions? I would love to hear your thoughts on this. This is a fun thing to think about. It's a fun show. And thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. And if you want to check out my ebook, the link is down below in the description box. Thanks.